Hey guys, it's me, Tails Fox, and today I just did Friday Night Funkin' Genderswap Hunger Games. So we have Babe Friend, Guy Friend, Mommy Dearest, Skelly and Plum, Pika, Daddy Nearest, Lemon Fiend, Waifu, Error, Tank Woman, Whitney, Carlos, Sarvin, Ruvina, Celine, Rasul, Ground, Cassander, Hexia, ENO, Trixie, Hannah, Toki, that's what I call him, and Ritzy. The reason why Cassander is just Heckbeats Pico, that's the closest thing I could find to a Friday Night Funkin' styled Cassander / Genderswap Cassandra. So anyways, let's begin. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Cassander runs away from the cornucopia. Ground runs away from the cornucopia. Waifu clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Skelly and Plum run away from the cornucopia. Ruvina finds a backpack full of camping equipment. Babe Friend runs away from the cornucopia. Toki grabs a shovel. Hannah grabs a sword. ENO runs away from the cornucopia. Sarvin scares Hexia away from the cornucopia. Ritzy runs away from the cornucopia. Tank Woman and Pika fight for a bag. Tank Woman gives up and retreats. Razul, Error, Guy Friend, and Trixie share everything they gathered before running. Lemon Fiend runs away from the cornucopia. Whitney runs away from the cornucopia. Daddy Mira sets an explosive off, killing Celine. Mommy Dearest runs away from the cornucopia. Carlos snatches a pair of size. I do not know how to pronounce that. Hannah collects fruit from a tree. ENO tends to Daddy Mirast's wounds. Carlos travels to higher ground. Ground kills Trixie with a sickle. Hannah would be happy about that. Hexia tries to spear fish with a trident. Lemon Fiend runs away from Waifu. Razul practices his archery. Sarvin collects fruit from a tree. Pika travels to higher ground. Mommy Dearest makes a slingshot. Guy Friend, Toki, and Tank Woman hunt for other tributes. Error searches for a water source. Ruvina begs for Skelly and Plum to kill her. They refuse, keeping Ruvina alive. Cassandra fishes. Whitney and Ritzy work together for the day. Babe Friend tries to sleep through the entire day. 2 gunshots can be heard in the distance, killing Celine and Trixie. Proceed. Ruvina is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Very cold. Carlos, Cassander, and Ruvina... not Ruvina. Carlos, Cassander, and Ground sleep in shifts. My bad. Razul receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Skelly and Plum think about winning. Waifu attempts to start a fire, but it is unsuccessful. Oof. Toki, ENO, and Lemon Fiend sleep in shifts. Mommy Dearest, Whitney, Tank Woman, and Hannah tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Ritzy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Daddy Mirist convinces Sarvin to snuggle with him. Guy Friend attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Oof. Pika defeats Hexia in a fight, but spares her life. Error sees a fire, but stays hidden. Babe Friend thinks about home. Proceed. Pika dies of dysentery. Daddy Miras steals from Carlos while he isn't looking. Cassander collects fruit from a tree. Waifu explores the arena. ENO fishes. Babe friend chases Sarvin. Mommy Dearest camouflages herself in the bushes. Lemon Fiend picks flowers. Toki attacked Sky Friend, but he manages to escape. Razul is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Whitney begs for Hexia to kill her. She refuses, keeping Whitney alive. Tank Woman, Error, Ground, and Ritzy raid Ruvina's camp while she is hunting. Skelly and Plum discover a river. Hannah travels to higher ground. And only one gunshot can be heard in the distance, killing Pika. Error cries herself to sleep. ENO questions his sanity. Ritzy lets Waifu into her shelter. Guy Friend shoots a poisonous blow dart into Babe Friend's neck, slowly killing her. Guy Friend, why'd you kill your own girlfriend? Bruh moment. Mommy Dearest and Skelly and Plum talk about the tribute still alive. Razul lets Carlos into his shelter. Daddy Miras tends to Whitney's wounds. Sarvin defeats Hannah in a fight but spares her life. Hexia dies of dysentery. Ground cries himself to sleep. Toki goes to sleep. Cassander and Tank Woman talk about the tribute still alive. Ruvina quietly hums. Lemon Fiend falls into a pit and dies. That's what you get, Lemon Fiend, for trying to eat Guy Friend. Hannah is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Razul searches for a water source. Sarvin fishes. Mommy Dearest makes a slingshot. Ruvina throws a knife into Cassander's chest. Oof. ENO attempts to climb a tree but falls to his death. Ground tries to sleep through the entire day. Guy Friend tries to spear fish with a trident. Carlos overhears Waifu and Toki talking in the distance. Daddy Miras receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Skelly and Plum and Whitney split up to search for resources. Error goes hunting. Tank Woman is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Ritzy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance, killing Babe Friend, Hexia, Lemon Fiend, Cassander, and ENO. Skelly and Plum and Error tell stories about themselves to each other. Toki, Ritzy, and Razul and Sarvin tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Whitney sets off an explosion, killing Tank Woman and Guy Friend. That's funny because Whitney's head is a bomb. Oh. Ground and Carlos hold hands. Daddy Miras begs for Hannah to kill him. She refuses, keeping Daddy Miras alive. Ruvina dies of dysentery. Mommy Dearest receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Waifu cries herself to sleep. Proceed. Ritzy severely injures Mommy Dearest and leaves her to die. Razul goes hunting. Daddy Miras thinks about home. And he should also think about his wife. Error fishes. Toki overhears Skelly and Plum and Ground talking in the distance. Sarvin diverts Hannah's attention and runs away. Waifu runs away from Whitney. Carlos travels to higher ground. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance, killing Tank Woman, Guy Friend, Ruvina, and Mommy Dearest. Ritzy is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Waifu is unable to start a fire and also sleeps without warmth. Double oof. Skelly and Plum and Whitney run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Toki starts a fire. Ground receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Hannah, Error, and Carlos discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Sarvin stays awake all night. Razul bleeds out due to untreated injuries. Daddy Miras climbs a tree to rest. Whitney thinks about home. Waifu overhears Skelly and Plum and Error talking in the distance. Daddy Mirist, Sarvin, Hannah, and Ground hunt for other tributes. Carlos tries to sleep through the entire day. Ritzy goes hunting. Toki collects fruit from a tree. 1 cannon shot can be heard in the distance, killing Razul. Ground destroys Error's supplies while she is asleep. Toki and Carlos talk about the tributes still alive. Skelly and Plum defeat Daddy Mirist in a fight, but spares his life. Ritzy is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Whitney fends Hannah, Waifu, and Sarvin away from her fire. Skelly and Plum forces Ground to kill Waifu or Ritzy. He refuses to kill, so Skelly and Plum kill him instead. Error receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Carlos receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Hannah spears Toki in the abdomen. Sarvin sets Daddy Mirist on fire with a Molotov. Whitney questions her sanity. And 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance, killing Ground, Toki, and Daddy Mirist. Sarvin sets Error on fire with the Molotov. Whitney is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Carlos, Skelly and Plum, Waifu, and Hannah track down and kill Ritzy. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memorials from the tribute's families. Whitney decides not to go to the feast. Waifu, Hannah, and Skelly and Plum get into a fight. Skelly and Plum triumphantly kill them both. Carlos decides not to go to the feast. Sarvin decides not to go to the feast. Sarvin receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Whitney tries to spearfish with a trident. Carlos throws a knife into Skelly and Plum's head. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance, killing Error, Ritzy, Waifu, Hannah, and Skelly and Plum. Carlos and Whitney hold hands. Sarvin looks at the night sky. Whitney overhears Sarvin and Carlos talking in the distance. No cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Carlos receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Whitney receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Sarvin attempts to climb a tree, but falls to his death. Carlos dies trying to escape the arena. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance, killing Sarvin and Carlos. The winner is Whitney from District 6. And these are the placements. But man, I can't believe guy friend killed his own girlfriend. That's just like he acted like a true demon. Bruh. Well, that's the Genderswap Friday Night Funkin' Hunger Games.